What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here with Rob Mazika, taking a look at some GPP bats for tonight's nine-game slate. Overall, I guess it's a pretty average pitching slate, so, we do have some gas cans, though.
Yeah, we do. No studs on the board, no Kershaw or anyone. We do have some gas cans. We're going to point them out to you, like, Jared Weaver, Chase Anderson, sometimes Derek Holland. There's a lot of spots where we want to pick on pitchers today.
Yeah, the first one here, you got that White Sox and Yankees game. In Yankee Stadium, so a bump in park factors for all those guys. We'll start with the White Sox side. You and I had basically just one guy to look at, and that was Todd Frazier if he's in the lineup.
Yeah, Todd Frazier, if he's playing today. He had a 3.39 WOBA against lefties last season. Montgomery, he's an up-and-coming prospect with the Yankees. He's actually a pretty decent pitcher. He might do a good job tonight in this park. But, yeah, really only Frazier and then maybe Jose Abreu, but he hasn't looked good this year.
Yeah, Abreu's one of those guys where I think the power's just been trending down for the last few years, and I don't know what it is about maybe the beginning of the season. We saw this last year where he just wasn't coming through, hitting a ton of ground balls. Another guy, Matt Davidson's been off to a decent start. Lefty-righty matchup there, but that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, I agree. There's not a lot to love. But on the Yankees side, you could find a couple home runs with potentially like Chris Carter or Starlin Castro.
Yeah, Castro's been off to a hot start this year, hitting the ball really well. He's probably my favorite Yankees bat tonight, just because he comes at the second base position and he's cheaply priced. Chris Carter, if you want to go that way in GPPs, I'm certainly cool with that too.
Yeah, I like Chris Carter. Derek Holland's an extreme fly ball pitcher. Carter could definitely get a hold of one off him.
Yep. Anyone else? Some of these bottom half guys like Judge, Headley.
Headley's been hot lately. He crushed he's been going off these last 6 games that Yankees been winning. So he's been hitting the ball well. You could use him for sure. And then Aaron Judge actually seemed to get a swing lately as well.
Yeah, dude's mashing, hitting the ball really hard to start the year. Pirates and Cardinals next. Ivan Nova versus Lance Lynn. I'm not really looking for a ton of offense in this one. I don't really like the Pirate side, but I know you like a couple lefties.
Yeah, I like a couple of the lefties. Josh Bell, to be specific, if you want a value first baseman. 356 WOBA against righties last year. And then if Gregory Polanco plays, he had a 332 WOBA against righties last year as well. And Lance Lynn, he gave it up a little bit to lefties back in his last healthy season, 2015, I think.
Yeah. On the Cardinals side of things, I think Matt Carpenter and only on FanDuel is the only guy that I'm looking at. One, because he's still cheaply priced. You look at Nova, he's definitely kind of figured things out a little bit more in Pittsburgh, but still going back to last year, I know most of this came in Yankee Stadium, but still a 362 WOBA and a 38% hard contact rate to lefties.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. PNC Park has actually really helped Nova out a lot, and when he's not there, he's giving up about a 400 WOBA to lefties in general. So I definitely like Matt Carpenter in this spot.
Padres and Braves, Jared Weaver versus Jaime Garcia. Two of the weakest arms on the slate here. We'll start with this Padres side. Vegas isn't loving them, but I think there's actually quite a bit of potential here.
There is, especially for tournaments. You got guys like Will Myers, Hunter Renfroe, Solarte, Margot. You got all these righty bats now for the Padres who could all hit lefties pretty well.
Yeah, and you look Garcia, 1.56 home runs per 9 to righty since last year. Doesn't miss a ton of bats either. Hard contact rate's pretty average. As you said, those guys are all in play. And I think Myers, I'm kind of hoping he goes a little bit overlooked tonight.
I think he will, but especially with Eric Thames and others, Freddie Freeman, and a bunch of other first basemen that are on the board today. I can see Will Myers going under the radar.
Yeah. And you look at the Brave side of things. Jared Weaver's had a couple of decent starts, but looking into those starts, been very lucky. BABIP is below 150. Still going up a crazy hard ball contact. His FIP's like over 7. Weaver's definitely not going to keep it up.
I'm shocked it didn't happen in Coors, but the Braves have been hitting the ball well. And Ciarte, a couple home runs over the weekend. Freeman hitting the ball hard. Markakis hitting the ball hard. Even Dansby Swanson's been hitting the ball hard as well. 1 through 4 in this lineup, they're all in play for me.
Yep, me too. When you look at that ballpark, I think it's definitely going to play a lot better than Turner Field did for hitters. So I'm on board. They're one of the higher run totals of the night. I think stackable and one-offs, they all have potential.
I agree, and they will definitely be lower owned than like the Cubs and all the other big team names.
Yep. And speaking of the Cubs here, John Lackey versus Chase Anderson. I'll start with this Brewers side here first. A lot of potential for power. And then obviously we talked about Lackey, definitely strikeout upside, but some of these guys, do have crazy power.
They do. Brewers are the ultimate boomer bust play. Every time they're on the slate, they strike out over 25% of the time against righties, but At the same time, they have players like Ryan Braun, Jonathan VR, Travis Shaw, and even Eric Dames, who hit righties really well. And so when they're not striking out, they're hitting the ball hard all across the field.
Yeah, and I think this is just basically a leverage play against people who are going Lackey in tournaments, because I do think Lackey's going to be popular basically in both formats tonight because of the strikeout upside.
I think he's going to be the highest owned pitcher tonight. Him and Salazar and Robbie Ray are probably in that order for ownership for pitchers. So stacking against the highest owned pitcher tonight means you get, if he blows up, you get the double advantage with your guys going off and the chalk pitcher going blowing up.
And on the Cubs side, Chase Anderson, reverse splits pitcher. That does put the righties in play for me. Chris Bryant is definitely going to carry some high ownership at third base. And because tonight the pricing is a little bit soft, there isn't really a ton of elite pay-up options. He's going to come in, but I still think he's worth a look even in tournaments.
I think he is as well. He is Chris Bryant, and it is Chase Anderson. The extreme reverse split, really bad against righties, but really effective against lefties. Pretty much only Chris Bryant and Addison Russell I'm looking towards, and if you want, you can go with Contreras at catcher.
Yeah, I like Russell. I like him on FanDuel quite a bit, where he's 2,700. I think Russell's a good pivot because you're looking at the DK pricing. Lindor is only 4,200. So if you do want to make that pivot, I think Russell is your guy.
Yeah, I mean Lindor is the more popular, better play on paper, but Russell could outscore him in any day.
Yep. And as you said, Contreras, he's in play for me quite a bit just because catcher's a weak spot tonight.
Yeah, catcher, it's always a weak spot, especially without Sanchez and playing and no Posey right now, and it's just ugly.
Yeah. Angels in Houston, a lot of potential in this ballpark. We'll start with the Angels side here first. Charlie Morton, decent against righties, but obviously Trout and Pujols are still in play, and I think I don't like actually paying up for Trout most nights, but I think with the pricing the way it is, I actually don't mind using him.
I don't mind it either. He's not too expensive. There's no stud pitcher you want to pay up for, so you could definitely fit him in. Reverse split, I mean, it doesn't matter with him. He hits both hands well, but 419 WOBA against righties last year. Morton, he's about league average, maybe a little. Yeah, he's about league average, ground ball pitcher. Trout could definitely get some extra base hits in this one.
Yep, and I think, Morton, where he's really struggled is against lefties in his career. Cole Calhoun going to get a bump in park factor. I don't mind him. I think he's going to get overlooked as well because, there are quite a bit of outfielders on this slate worth using.
There's quite a bit of options everywhere. It's going to be a fun slate. Ballpark helps both these teams. Minute Maid Park really helps righties specifically, but Calhoun's in a good spot as well.
Yep. And on the Astros side, I mean, one of the highest team totals on the slate. Look at Chavez. I mean, home run prone. Very mediocre against both sides of the plate too.
Yeah, I mean, he came in popular, more popular than I expected last time he was on the hill. People were actually using him. I think that changes tonight, but you can go 1 through 5 in this order, even 1 through 6, and with Evan Gattis in there. Basically, each of these guys, they hit right as well. Great ballpark. They can put up 10 runs on any given night, and you can really just pick and choose.
Yeah, and you look at Altuve, I mean, starting to get going on the base paths as well. We've seen the upside here. Been over 15 DK points in each of the last 4 games.
Yeah, he has. He's hot right now. He could even steal a couple bases tonight, too.
Yep. Cleveland and Minnesota, Danny Salazar versus Kyle Gibson. And looking at this one, Indians are probably going to be one of the chalkier stacks and just chalkier one-offs of the slate. Definitely, not worth fading, but, if you don't want to make pivots elsewhere, I'm certainly okay if you play the ownership angle.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Indians just in general as a whole team. I'm probably going to get a little different in my stack of them on the teams. I do stack them. But I like pretty much every single lefty in this order. Santana, Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Chisenhall, even Almonte, Brantley. Like, you can just really pick and choose any lefty against Kyle Gibson.
Yeah, and the fact that usually we saw DK price them up quite a bit last year, they're not. And you also look at Encarnacion. I mean, if you do want to play Santana, obviously, lefties against Gibson. Encarnacion 3-4 on FanDuel is an intriguing pivot.
It really is. He's probably going to come lower owned with the righty-righty matchup. Numbers back up Santana more, but you can never count out E5.
No, I mean, you look at that one, I mean, it's going to be one or the other. And as you said, Santana likely going to be the higher owned.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the Twins side, you can really just look at the BVP. The numbers don't really back up too much. Salazar reverse split. He did give up over 300 WOBA to righties last year, but I'm really only looking towards Brian Dozier.
Yeah, I mean, I did the pitching pod and I was looking at Salazar, and he's one of those guys where I don't completely feel comfortable with tonight, but I don't think he's a bad option either. And with that being said, I think that kind of translates to the Twins for me too. I don't think Dozier's a bad option. Grossman, Max Kepler always have some power. And the thing is, this Twins team is walking a lot more than they did in previous years.
They are. They're seeing the ball well. They're actually one of the better teams in the league right now, record-wise. But yeah, you could look at some one-offs. Dozier, Kepler, they could both knock one out of the park. Dozier with the inside the Parker yesterday might be able to get them going.
Yeah. Texas and Oakland, this one does have a weather concern here. We've seen that. We saw yesterday with the rain. It was a quick rain out. That could be the case again tonight.
It could be. Even if it does play, though, we'll assume it plays at the moment since it's only early in the afternoon. But I'm off the Rangers pretty much completely. Jarrell Cotton's a solid pitcher, up-and-coming stud. A tough ballpark, and when it rains in Oakland, it's just hard for the ball to carry.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only guy that I would consider is Nomar Mazara on DK, 3,600. Maybe an Odor, but that's about it for me. I'm not really on anyone else.
Yeah, I'm not really on them. And then, but on Oakland's side, I do like some guys like Matt Joyce and Stephen Vogt. AJ Griffin really gets blown up by lefties, and those are some two decent lefty bats in this lineup.
Yep, I mean, 2.90 home runs per nine to lefties going back to last year, 44% hard contact rate. I'm with you there. And as far as him against righties, I mean, he's still giving up a ton of home runs, 1.56 home runs per nine. So, I mean, Chris Davis still comes into play, alongside those two lefties.
He definitely does. Griffin, 406 WOBA against lefties last year. I just want to point out Matt Joyce with a 381 WOBA against righties, and he is under 2.6K on both sites.
Yeah, 2,600 on DK, 22 on FanDuel?
Yeah, 22 over there.
So, yeah, if you need a punt play, he's definitely worth a look.
For sure.
Diamondbacks, Dodgers. On the Diamondback side, I mean, we're talking about McCarthy. Average, slightly above average right-hander, good at limiting damage. I mean, both David Peralta, Jake Lamb under 4K on DraftKings is intriguing.
I really like Jake Lamb. 374 WOBA against righties last year. Pretty consistent option. He does have some upside. They all steal some bases, everyone on this team, which is pretty fun. Kind of tough to steal on McCarthy and Grandal, but they certainly will try.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, I don't mind the front four there. I think they're all should go lower owned just because it's they're away from Chase.
Yeah, and their underdog is only implied 3.5 runs, so it's a decent contrarian stack, and even as some one-offs, you could take it.
Yep. On the Dodgers side, curious to see what this lineup comes out and looks like tonight. But we'll talk about the guys who obviously won't be in there. I don't really like anyone here. I think people are going to be chasing Puig, which I kind of like as a GPP fade. And Justin Turner, I mean, I kind of have some interest in because I do think he'll carry a low ownership, but Rays is a decent left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, Puig, he's going to come in fairly owned. He was really popular the other night. It let me down when he hit a home run. I was a little upset. But decent. Both Puig and Kike Hernandez have decent BVP numbers, both 5 for 13 and 5 for 14 with a home run off them before. They hit lefties pretty decently. Kike not as well as Puig. Puig with a 333 WOBA against lefties last year. But nothing more than a one-off with this team.
Yeah, certainly a one-off. Just because Ray, I mean, he's so strikeout or bust. Just because still gives up a crazy high hard contact rate when he's actually getting hit, but 27% strikeout rate against righties too.
Yeah, I like Ray a lot as a pitcher. He's probably going to be – I'm going to be overweight on the field on him. I'll have a ton of Robbie Ray tonight. So I'm pretty much off the Dodgers personally, but you could take Puig or Kike and even Grandal as a one-off.
Yeah. Marlins, Seattle, out here in Safeco. Marlins bats against lefties. I mean, Marcell Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton, really underpriced on DK.
Ozuna's on fire. He's just going off this whole weekend, hitting over 300 on the year. He's just killing everyone.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's had what? He's got about 14 ribbies in like the last 5 games, a couple of home runs. And you can't even mention that this is a bad shift in ballpark because Miami's not good either.
Yeah, exactly. And Miranda, he's not that great. He had a 327 WOBA against righties last year. I mean, it's nothing special, but it was kind of a smaller sample. But Ozuna could definitely get to him. Yeah,
and over a 2 home runs. So, I mean, really, both those guys are in play. As far as anyone else goes, I think basically they're the only high upside guys I'll be looking at on the Marlins side.
I agree. Realmuto, he's always the cash game option at catcher, but Stanton, Ozuna, and even Tyler Moore as a punt if you really want to go there. They're the only ones who stand out to me.
And on the Seattle side, you're looking at Tom Kohler, one of the weaker right-handers, guy who did struggle against lefties last year. I mean, really, it's going to be time here soon where Seager, Cano, Cruz all start to get going all at the same time. I mean, Mitch Haniger is basically the only one doing anything in this offense.
Yeah, I like this whole team. pretty much. Tom Kohler is a fly ball pitcher. Seager, Cano, Cruz, they could all take 1 yard. Taylor Motter's been hitting the ball well. Even Danny Valencia, if he gets in the lineup, he's really cheap on both major sites. Pretty much 1 through 7, 1 through 8, you can go with anyone.
And I think everyone but Mitch Haniger is going to come in under round 2.
Yeah, Mitch Haniger, they refused to raise his price. Hit his 4th home run yesterday. He's just becoming the darling so far in the season. But yeah, pretty much anyone in this lineup. Tom Kohler, he gives up the long ball, and anyone on this team can really hit one out.
Yep. So, I mean, you can Seattle, pretty good option here tonight. And that's about it.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the slate. Happy Patriots Day, everyone.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Sox winning right now, you know?
Yes,
We're
4-2.
up like 4-2. So let's wrap things up here. You can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com, check out our great tools and content.
Yeah, good luck.